Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. On today's tutorial, I will demonstrate how to draft the patterns for this pleated neckline blouse with tulip sleeves. Hi, my name is Ayo and welcome to 011 Clothings Tutorials. On this channel, I upload DIYs, pattern drafting and sewing tutorials. If you haven't subscribed yet, kindly do so, and do not forget to turn on the notification bell so that you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. So now, let's get right into the tutorial. Thank you! I'll be working with the following items: tape measure, pins. Ideally, a pencil should be used to draft a pattern, but for tutorial purpose, I'll be using this marker pen, calculator, a pair of paper scissors, a pair of fabric scissors, rulers and curves, a yard and a half of this flowered chiffon fabric, pattern paper. I'll be working with the following measurements: shoulder to shoulder 16 inches, bust circumference 36 inches, waist circumference 32 inches, hip circumference 38 inches, shoulder to waistline 16 inches, sleeve length 6 inches, blouse length 25 inches, around arm measurement 12 inches. I have here my pattern paper, which I have already laid out on the table. I have drawn a margin of 2 inches at the top and 2 inches on the left hand side of the pattern paper. I will now go ahead and draw a rectangular box that will contain both the front and the back pattern. This is because both the front and the back patterns will be drafted within this rectangular box. To know the width of the rectangular box, I will look for the largest circumference between the bust, the waist and the hip circumference measurements, and in this case it is the hip circumference measurement, which is 38 inches. I will now calculate the hip circumference divided by 2 plus 3 inches for ease. This is 38 divided by 2 plus 3 inches for ease. This is equal to 22 inches. I will go ahead to measure and mark 22 inches like this. I will draw a vertical line downwards. As for the length of the rectangular box, the length will be the blouse length, which is 25 inches. I will measure and mark 25 inches downwards like this from the upper starting line. I will draw a horizontal line across, thus completing the rectangular box. I will divide the rectangular box into 2 equal halves vertically like this. This side will be the center back, while this other side will be the center front. From the upper starting line, I will measure and mark 1 inch downwards like this. I will draw a horizontal line. This is the back shoulder line. Next, I will measure and mark 1.5 inches downwards from the upper starting line. I will draw a horizontal line across. This is the front shoulder line. I will calculate the armhole depth using the formula bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches. This is 36 divided by 6 plus 1.5. This is equal to 7.5 inches. From the back shoulder line, I will measure and mark 7.5 inches downwards like this. The armhole depth from the upper starting line is 8.5 inches. So I will measure and mark 8.5 inches downwards from the upper starting line like this on the center back and the center front lines. I will draw a horizontal line across. This is the armhole line. The shoulder to waistline measurement is 16 inches. From the upper starting line, I will measure and mark 16 inches downwards like this. I will draw a horizontal line across. This is the waistline. For the back neckline curve, I will use a value of 3 inches by 1 inch. Using a French curve, I will draw the back neckline curve like this. For the front neckline curve, I will use a value of 3 inches by 3 inches. Using my French curve, I will draw the front neckline curve like this. Next, I will divide the shoulder to shoulder measurement by 2. This is 16 inches divided by 2, and this is equal to 8 inches. On the back shoulder line, I will measure and mark 8 inches like this, starting from the center back. On the front shoulder line, I will measure and mark 8 inches like this, starting from the center front. I will connect these points together like this to give me the back and the front shoulder lines. Also, on the armhole line, I will measure and mark this same 8 inches, which is the shoulder to shoulder measurement divided by 2. I will measure and mark it, starting from the center back and also the center front. I will connect these points together like this with broken lines. On the back pattern, on the broken line, I will locate and mark the middle point. From the middle point, I will go in by half an inch. I will connect the half-inch points to the shoulder tip like this using my ruler. On the front pattern, on the broken line, I will measure and mark 3 inches upwards from the armhole line. From the 3-inch point, I will go in by 3/4 of an inch. I will connect this 3/4 of an inch point to the shoulder tip like this using my ruler. Next, I will calculate the bust circumference plus 4 inches for ease divided by 4. This is 36 plus 4 divided by 4, and this is equal to 10 inches. On the armhole line, I will measure and mark 10 inches like this, starting from the center back and also the center front. I will connect these points together like this with my French curve, thus completing the armhole curves for the front and the back patterns. I will calculate the waist circumference plus 4 inches for ease divided by 4. This is 32 inches plus 4 divided by 4, and this is equal to 9 inches. On the waistline, I will measure and mark 9 inches like this, starting from the center back and also the center front. Next, I will calculate the hip circumference plus 4 inches for ease divided by 4. This is 38 plus 4 divided by 4, and this is equal to 10.5 inches. On the hip line, which is also the hem of the blouse in this case, I will measure and mark 10.5 inches, starting from the center back and also the center front. I will connect these points together to give me the side seams of the back and the front patterns. As the hem at the side seams, I will go up by 1 inch from the hem. As the center back and also the center front, I will come down by 1 inch from the hem. Using my pattern master, I will curve the ends of the back and the front patterns like this. I will alter the basic necklines. On the back pattern, I will increase the neck width by 1 inch and the neck depth by 0.5 inch. Using my ruler and French curve, I will redraw the back neckline curve like this. This shaded part is no longer part of the back pattern. On the front pattern, I will increase the neck width by 1 inch and the neck depth by 1 inch also. Using my ruler and French curve, I will redraw the front neckline curve like this. This shaded part is no longer part of the front pattern. Both the front and the back patterns will be cut on fold on the fabric. I will cut out the front and the back pattern pieces. Next, I will create the pleats at the neckline of the front pattern. On the neckline, I will measure and mark 3/4 of an inch from the center front. Next, I will measure and mark 1 inch from the 3/4 of an inch point. Then, I will measure and mark another 1 inch from the previous 1 inch point. Between the waistline and the armhole line, I will locate and mark the middle point. They are both 3¾ inches long. From the armhole line, I will also measure and mark 3¾ inches upwards on the armhole curve. I will connect these points together with my ruler, thus creating the slash lines on the front pattern. I will go ahead and slash these lines open, but I won't cut them all the way through at the sides. I have laid out the front pattern on this new pattern paper like this. I will pin the lower half of the front pattern in place first. I will now go ahead and open up the neckline of the front pattern by 1.5 inches each. I will pin the pieces in place. I will cut it out. As the neckline, I will temporarily close the pleats first before cutting out the neckline. I will sellotape the pleats in place. Then I will cut out the remaining part of the front pattern. Next, I will draft the basic sleeve pattern. First, I will fold the pattern paper into two like this. I will draw out a horizontal starting line about 1 inch from the top edge of the paper. The sleeve length that I'm working with is 6 inches. So from the upper starting line, I will measure and mark 6 inches downwards like this. I will draw a horizontal line across. This is the hem of the sleeve. Next, I will calculate the cap height value using the formula bust circumference divided by 12 plus 1.5 inches. This is 36 inches divided by 12 plus 1.5 inches. This is equal to 4.5 inches. From the upper starting line, I will measure and mark 4.5 inches downwards like this. I will draw a horizontal line across. This is the cap height line. Next, I will calculate the armhole depth value using the formula bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches. This is 36 inches divided by 6 plus 1.5, and this is equal to 7.5 inches. On the cap height line, I will measure and mark 7.5 inches like this. I will connect these 2 points together with my ruler like this to give me a slanted diagonal line. I will divide this slanted line into 4 equal sections like this. From this first middle point, I will go up by half an inch. From the second middle point, I will come down by half an inch. I will now draw out the curve of the sleeve head using these half-inch points as my guide. This armhole curve is for the back of the sleeve. For the front armhole curve, I will come down from this middle point by half an inch. I will now use this half inch as a guide to draw out the front armhole curve. This new armhole curve is for the front of the sleeve. Next, I will divide the around arm measurement by 2. This is 12 inches divided by 2, and this is equal to 6 inches. As the hem of the sleeve, I will measure and mark 6 inches like this. I will connect these 2 points together to give me the side seam of the sleeve pattern. I will go ahead and trace out this outline, the front armhole curve, the side seam, and the hem to the other side of the pattern paper like this. I will use the tracing wheel to do the tracing. I will make the tracing bolder like this using my ruler, marker pen, and French curve. I will label the front and the back of the sleeve. I will cut out the basic sleeve pattern. I will now go ahead and alter this basic sleeve pattern into a puff sleeve pattern. On the middle line, I will measure and mark 1.5 inches upwards from the cap height line. I will connect these points to the sides like this using my ruler. I will slash the basic sleeve pattern following this direction like this. On this new pattern paper, I will draw out a middle vertical line. I will now go ahead and slash the basic sleeve pattern like this. I will place the sleeve pattern on this new pattern paper, making sure that the middle line on the lower part of the sleeve match up with the middle line on the pattern paper. I will pin the sleeve pattern in place. I will open up the sleeve at this lower section by 1 inch each from both sides of the middle line. I will pin the slash sections in place. I will draw out the sleeve edge at this upper section. I will cut it out. I opened up this upper part of the sleeve by 2 1/4 inches each from the middle line. I will remove the old pattern paper from the new one. I will label the front and the back of the sleeve. This is the puff sleeve pattern. I will alter the puff sleeve pattern into a tulip sleeve pattern. These 2 points are the pleats. From the 2 pleat points, I will measure and mark 1.5 inches like this. As the hem from the middle line, I will measure and mark 3 inches from both sides of the middle line. I will connect these points together like this using my French curve. I will go ahead and trace out each of these sections individually onto another pattern paper. Thus, the tulip sleeve will be made up of 2 separate pattern pieces. I will go ahead and do the tracing now. First, I will pin the puff sleeve pattern onto another pattern paper like this. I will go ahead and then do the tracing. I will make the tracing bolder using my ruler, marker pen and French curve. I will cut out the sleeve patterns. Using the puff sleeve pattern, I will mark the positions of the pleats on the sleeve edge, and as you can see, I have already marked the middle points on the 2 tulip sleeve patterns. I will label the pleat positions, and I will also label the back and the front of the sleeve. So these are all the pattern pieces needed to make the blouse. Stay tuned for my next tutorial where I will cut and sew all these pattern pieces together on my fabric. If you find this video helpful, do not forget to give it a thumbs up, drop a comment down below, share this video with your friends who are interested in sewing, and do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. See you in my next tutorial. Bye, and thank you so much for watching.